Hi, this is Bridget Willer with BridgetWiller.com. I'm a freelance marketer, strategist, co-host of WP Blab from the WP Water Cooler Network, co-organizer of the Women Who WP Meetup, and community rep for the marketing team for the WordPress project. It's so much fun. But also, I'm your friend. We've known each other for a long time. And I thought I would just do a quick video ahead of my blog post on why I believe with all of my being that Twitter is the best platform for B2B relationships. I've been using Twitter for business to business relationships since 2009, starting with Riggins Construction. And that I grew that account to 20,000 followers organically over about 6 years. That's when I met some amazing people. In fact, one of the people I met during that time period, I finally met in person this weekend. Actually, two people I met this weekend at WordCamp Seattle, Robert Nissenbaum and Terry Takamura, who is a total Twitter goddess. Both of those people are amazing at building relationships with people on Twitter. And the thing is that we forget, before I go into my five-pronged strategy, is business is always about relationships. Business with other businesses is about relationships. Unless you're in retail and you're doing kind of a Snickers strategy where you're doing an impulse buy or something super trendy like a fidget spinner, you're not, or promoting an event. If you're building relationships and that's your key focus, then you're going to be able to have those relationships regardless of where your career goes, regardless of where you as a person goes, regardless of where your business goes or how it grows or pivots. So Twitter has been around for 11 years. It's not going anywhere, guys. Snapchat's there, Instagram's there. The principles apply everywhere. But Twitter has a unique situation where people are there to listen. They're there to engage and have conversations. Now, of course, there's spammers. And I'm just going to ask you to give me the same or more of suspended disbelief that you would give any science fiction movie that we all love, like Star Wars, okay? So for the sake of argument, let's say that you just believe me because I've been doing this. I do it. I brought in money that paid for myself when I was at a job. I brought in money for my clients. I brought in money when I was working for Thought House, for our franchise development clients. And of course, a lot of people know me from GiveWP, which is a plugin for nonprofit donations. Actually, any kind of donations, tip jars. I have a tip jar on my website at bridgetwiller.com. Give is just the best plugin for WordPress for online donations. So there's a lot of different industries I worked in: construction, automotive, plumbing, franchise development, nonprofits, social media, marketing, real estate. Whatever that kind of B2B relationship is, there are 5 reasons why Twitter works best. And if you have to start somewhere, I would start with Twitter for these reasons. Number 1, brand awareness. Number 2, public relations. 3, listening. That's probably the most important one. 4, content curation. And 5, relationship building. So Twitter, brand awareness. A lot of people want to talk about ROI, and I'm not going to talk about that for several reasons. One of which, it's a false accounting term. Marketing is an expense and it's not an asset. So you do want a return on your efforts. You want a return on your expenses, just like if you hired a salesperson, right? So brand awareness is a more high level situation where you're looking for somebody to say, I need a tissue for my nose, and they say Kleenex. I need to make a photocopy, and they say Xerox. I want to drink a Coke, right? So you associate online donations, give, whatever it is, right? So your whole, it's almost like a word association where that's the first thing you think of when you think of online donations, not GoFundMe. You think of give. Or if it's for restoration, you think of a restoration company. Or if it's, everybody has a business, right? So people are recommending me to their clients because they think Twitter Bridget, that's brand awareness, even for me as a person, right? So because Twitter allows a lot of volume and repetition, you can get your message out there, which goes to the second point of public relations. So having that consistent logo that's well designed, or a headshot of you that actually looks like you, is a good way to keep top of mind with people and build your brand awareness, so that the word association between what you do and who you are is totally aligned. Now, my friend Jen Miller does this very well. She has a company called Need Someone to Blog, with ghostwriting and website development, a whole lot more books, all kinds of stuff. So her Twitter handle is Jen Blogs for You. So not only does she have a photo of herself, but her handle says what happens. She blogs for you, right? So your Twitter presence allows you to elevate your brand as high as anybody else. You're not constrained by budget. If you are constrained by budget with hiring Twitter, you have bigger problems. We're not talking about 15-second YouTube pre-rolls or 30-second commercials or a minute on the Super Bowl. This is a very low advertising expense for you as a business to get people to know that you exist, to get them to think of you. If you're a restaurant, especially, you need this. It's an important distinctive thing. So brand awareness, huge, huge important, hard to quantify unless you randomly ask people what's, ask some questions and then you try to see what they're saying. If I had a specific question, I could tell you, but again, it's like I need a Kleenex. Nobody says facial tissue. Okay, so public relations. Obviously, you have information that you want to spread or share. Your customers might be interested in, might want to know, might be interested in. This is why I write, because I would backspace and rewrite that, but whatever. Nobody's perfect, not even me. I'm sorry to disappoint everybody. So public relations, you want your message to go out. You want it to go out effectively at the right time to the right audience, written the right way. Twitter is a really great way of sharing your content so that people will also share your content and be aware of what you're doing. Event promotion, sales, new products, new employees, new people that join your team, anything new, anything that's relevant to your business, you could share it on Twitter with a link that goes back to your blog, which I hope everybody has one. If you don't, start one, get a WordPress website. There's tons of people that build them. I can refer you to, 12 people off the top of my head, probably, okay, depending upon where you live. So get a website, spend $3,000 to $7,000 and just get it done. Okay, you have to have it. This is not 1990. This is, what year are we in? In 2017, you don't have a website with a blog, you're behind. You're behind already. Okay, so I'm known for being blunt, but this is the truth, and I'm telling you the truth because I love you. I want you to be successful. These are not high costs. This is not a vehicle. It's not a building. It's not a lease. It's not product development. It's necessary. People will not find you unless you're on the internet. You have to be present. You can pay SEO people all you want, but they're not going to be able to do anything if you don't produce content and if you don't have a website that allows you to do that. Get a WordPress website. I got tons of people from high end to low end I'll recommend to you. No problem. Just hit me up at gidgey@gmail.com. I'll send you a reference, okay? So website, blog, share that content out, PR. So we started with brand awareness, public relations. Number 3, listening. This is the most important thing that you could do on Twitter. And this goes with listing people. And I have extensively talked about listing. If you have ever heard me talk about Twitter, you've heard me say you need to set up lists and you need to use them. You can find out more at bridgetwiller.com/Twitter lists. One word, Twitter list. TwitterLists. Twitter lists. Okay, so there's instructions, there's strategy, there's the reasons. But once you have people on a list, the basic function is you're filtering out everybody else. So you're just listening to these people. This is especially important when you want to listen to your customers or your potential customers. So when I was in construction, real estate brokers were a really important demographic for us, along with our actual clients. So when you filter those people by using a list and you read their tweets, you know how they think, you know where they're eating, you know what kind of drinks they like, you know what frustrates them about construction companies, you know what frustrates them about anything, because people are always talking about their pain points on Twitter. They go to Twitter to complain about United Airlines. They go to Twitter to complain about web hosts that are slow. They go to Twitter to complain about clients that are late for meetings. Twitter has a lot of information. You don't need to spend a lot of money on focus groups. You need to spend time thinking about who your audiences are, putting those people on lists, and then responding to them. Guess what? That helps with brand awareness. And then when you have something to share, they're more likely to listen to you. Brand awareness, public relations, listening. Number 4, content curation. Curating. Curating means assembling and getting something personal. So there's a lot of ways people do social media. Sometimes it's automated. It's really up to you. I don't believe in 100% automation. I believe in a hybrid solution. I believe in custom services. I actually approach Twitter for clients with a voice that I learn through studying and listening. I take a sociological approach. One of my friends said, "You're like the Jane Goodall of Twitter." Yeah, I am, because you have to understand who these people are, your clients, and you have to get in their mindset, right? So once you've figured out who those people are and you set your lists up, then you can curate content that you can share that's not your own, sharing other people's content, right? And so you take the list and your favorite real estate broker is tweeting out a video of tips. Guess what? You can either reply to it or you can share it again. This is how I get that's why I said this is the most important. So I will use these lists for content to share elsewhere, Facebook, LinkedIn, even Google Plus, if you even still do that. Mostly for business to business, I recommend Twitter and LinkedIn. So you use those lists for all your curation. And then you can retweet it, of course, retweet with a quote, reply. So with Twitter, you have brand awareness, public relations, listening, content curation, and relationship building. So one of the most underused buttons on Twitter is the reply button. Retweet happens all the time. It's easy. You press a button, you think something's going to happen. But Twitter isn't something that you just set and forget. You can't just set it up, it's going to happen. It's not sea monkeys. You don't just add water. You work. You have to work. You can't build relationships and start a business and think that you're not going to work. There's a lot of time involved, and either you do it yourself, which is why I train people and say you too could be a guru, or you can outsource it to somebody like me or one of my other peers and colleagues. We're professionals. We're paid professionals to be your ambassador. We're not your niece that's 14. We have a lot of discernment. We have wisdom. We know what you would say and what you wouldn't say. And that's why your social media marketer should be an ambassador to your business and build those relationships on your behalf. So whether you have somebody only send out the content and you do your own replies, or whether you have somebody do it all, or whether you do it all, the reply button is the most important. When people mention you, you need to respond. That's true. But also when you're looking at your home feed or these lists, if you see Jack Auto Realtor tweeted something out, you can press reply and go, that's a great article. Have you thought about this? Or when you see that the Anthony's Pizza in Chicago, Illinois, tweeted out a picture that pizza's their love language, I think we're a match, you could press reply and say, ha, 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 it's super funny. These are all things that I've done. It's not hypothetical anymore for me. This is just so instinctive. And guess what happens? And I'm not trying to brag, but this is the reality. The reality is that people trust you. People trust me. And they trust me because I've built that relationship with them over time. This lasted for years. I have friends that I've known for 10 plus years because of Twitter. And those business connections still go on, even though I haven't been at Riggins Construction for 3 years. Those relationships I built on behalf of that business are still happening. And that is the most important thing, is you want to be able to build relationships that stay with the client. And that's what matters, because it's the referral business. People say, why does it matter that I'm on Twitter? And when I'm teaching, I say, how many people use referrals in their business? How many people like referrals? How many people live off referrals? How many people use Twitter for referrals? And their hands go down. Well, when you build relationships with people, like I said, if you need a website, I could tell you 5 people in your area probably that can build it from varying price ranges, because I know them and I give them referrals and they refer back to me. That's how business has always been done since the beginning of time. And regardless of the technology that we have, whether it's Twitter now or whether it was knocking on doors 20 years ago, or whether it's virtual reality 20 years from now, it will still be because of relationships. Twitter is the best for distinguishing and elevating your brand on a very small budget, considering advertising budgets that you should be using, for a very small amount of time in comparison to the other things that you could be doing in person. It supplements your paid advertising. It supplements your sales efforts. It supplements your content. It helps you with brand awareness, public relations, listening. Listening is so important. Content curation, and relationship marketing. And this has been another Bridget Willard Live. Thank you for tuning in. If you have questions, feel free to contact me. You too can be Guru on Twitter, gidgey@gmail.com on email, or at my website, bridgetwillard.com. And I hope to see you again soon. Thanks for tuning in. And remember, you too can be a guru.